Hi, my name's Dave, and this is part 2 of my series talking about how to use a SQL-like database in Go. In our case, we'll be using SQLite. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the tools and packages that are available in the Go ecosystem to allow us to do that. We'll be talking about installing them and just quickly setting them up. Great, so let's begin. So Go has in the Go standard library, there's a package called SQL. Here it is. Here's the documentation for it. And this package is basically a generic interface. It just has a bunch of methods which any database driver can implement as long as that database driver operates like a SQL database. And while the SQL syntax itself will change, the methods that you would invoke or the functions that you'd call, they shouldn't change. So you'd still have the .execute or like create a statement or create a transaction, all that stuff. That'll all be the same because you'll be using this package as wrapper, but the underlying driver will be implementing it in the database in maybe a different way, or the SQL syntax itself will be different. So we'll be pairing this up with a package. This package here is the database driver for SQLite 3, and it's simple enough to install. All you have to do is go get it. So here's our package, here's our project that we created earlier. I'm going to get this database, or this package, and from here we're going to try to connect or create a database from that. So the basic premise is you need to use a SQL package, and SQL has an open method. Okay, cool. Has an open method. And the first thing you want to do is, the first argument of that method is the name of the driver. In our case, it's going to be SQLite 3. And then we need to pass the source, or in our case, it's going to be a file. But if you use MySQL or Postgres, it's going to be a connection URL. But we just want to type in newsfeed.db. So it's going to appear in this local directory as newsfeed.db. And it responds with a DB connection and an error. That's the return value. However, this doesn't exist in Go at this point in time. So what you actually have to do is manually import the driver by typing in. Let me just get the string value. Is by typing in the package name. So I say I'm not going to use the value, but use this package in this project. And pretty much that's all you really need to do in order to connect to a DB. This will give you a database connection. Hopefully IntelliSense is working. Looks like it isn't, but that's okay. This will give you a database connection and an error if it fails to connect. And then with that connection, you're able to start to execute those SQL statements. Cool. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next episode.